Of all the times to go wrong. The coldest winter in ages and the heating's packed and I've a sneaky feeling the bearing is gone in the fuel pump here. So I'm going to see if I can get a new bearing kit for the fuel pump. But in the meantime, I've lubricated it and we'll see if we can eke a little bit more life out of it because the fan end here is running okay. I thought the capacitor might have been on its way out, but it seems okay. But I may order another one as a spare anyway, it's not that expensive and the control system seems okay. So I'm going to try putting this in now and see if I can get some heat. This sounds promising, so I'll leave it running for a while and then check to make sure there's no fuel leaks since I had the pump off. But yeah, that looks good so far and I'll get some spares in order. So before I get the overalls off and gloves off and wash up, I'm going to wait for a while. I'm going to make a video about this which arrived today, just because I want to check out in the heating and make sure that it's an outside boiler. I just want to make sure that it's not putting a big huge slick of oil out, which is very unlikely. It's certainly not done so far. But anytime you've worked on something like that and you've been tightening up and loosening oil connections, it's always a good idea to check. The house is also heating up dramatically now from, it was really low. I think it bottomed out about 5 degrees Celsius and now it's up to about 8, which is starting to feel actually too hot. Maybe it's just because I'm wearing a thermal overall. So this arrived. It's another of these catalytic heaters, or catalyst heaters. How does it compare in size? It's marginally bigger than the other one I took apart. I didn't really take it apart, did I? What I really want to see in these... Oh, the smaller one has a bigger catalyst. Oh, and this one's stuff is just wicking out everywhere. This is just like an inferno waiting to happen, isn't it? Let's start by poking that in. I don't think the stuff is supposed to poke out. I'm guessing that is it feels very crispy. Hopefully it's not asbestos. You just never know with Chinese stuff. You do not. I believe they still use asbestos in China. I very much doubt this is asbestos. It feels more like this sort of the ceramic-y white fiberglass lagging material. But this unit, this version comes, again it comes with the wee bag, it comes with an instruction manual, which I hadn't noticed. Hand warmer. It's entirely in Chinese, that's fine. So I'm going to fill this up now, and I'm going to use the little thing it comes with, because very much like the Zippo, it comes this little oil can type thing. And I'm going to use the standard naphtha type fuel. What is this fuel? Contains solvent naphtha brackets petroleum light aliph. Oh, okay. Aliphatic solventy type thing. Okay, it's a petroleum distillate. I want to mention when I made the video about the other one, people said that they filled theirs with alcohol type fuels. I don't actually recommend that because alcohol is this really annoying habit, he said, blowing fuel everywhere, of not staying in wicks. It's not as good as wicking at as the oils, in my experience. And I've got living proof of this. While I was doing a film shoot in Edinburgh, one of the effects that was being used, I was playing a goodie and a baddie in that particular production. I had a blazing torch and I was running through a graveyard with a blazing torch hunting for someone who was missing. And to make the torch blaze without too much smoke, instead of using oil in the sort of wick at the end, they used isopropyl alcohol, because isopropyl alcohol burns the yellow flame, but it doesn't. So I filled this up to the second notch. Not sure if that was what I was to fill it up with. It burns with the yellow flame, but without much smoke. Oh, this kind of works. Yeah, it's not bad. It still backs up quite quickly, but yeah, that is one measured portion. It's a lot easier than another one. But yeah, it burns the yellow flame, but without the smoke. But unfortunately, it didn't stay in the wick, and they had big tubs of this stuff, and they dipped my torch in it. And then the take happened, and I was running along with blazing torch, and I could feel all the alcohol just pouring down the handle, all over my fingers. And then I saw the flame pouring down the handle and threw it on the ground. When it happened, and they cut the take at that point. Then the next one, it made it all the way down to my hand, and I saw the flame just go woof down the handle, and then my hand burst into flames. And because it was alcohol and it was just a small quantity, it was all right. I threw the thing down and then just snuffed it out of my clothing. But yeah, that was quite interesting. Now this is dark. It's almost as if someone's had it lit in advance. Now, someone also, well, a few of you suggested, the best way to light this is actually to put a couple of drops of the fuel on it. Oh, I've just absolutely doused it in fuel. And then I'll just make sure all the other fuel's out the way, because this is highly combustible. and then light it. And that kind of heats the wick and starts the heat going. It's looking kind of burnt on top. It's as if, I wonder what that material is. It's also quite smoky. Maybe I should be keeping it away from the camera lens. Would be a good idea. And once that burns out, look how black that catalyst is going. Is that really a good idea? Okay, so now that's done that thing, let's get the thermal imaging camera and see if anything's happening, because that's another thing I didn't do in the previous video. The thermal imaging camera, it would have been quite useful to see if the heat was spreading. The pad in this is a bit suspicious, but now I'm feeling the heat going into the case. Seeing most of the heat is in the, and it is greater than 280 degrees Celsius, that pad does look like it's doing catalytic stuff. Let's focus down onto this. In fact, let's turn the light off. Let's take the exposure off. Bring this up to here. Focus down onto this. So again, that is showing quite a high temperature. It's greater than 280, which is its temperature range. Let's move it up there. You can see the heat moving down into the body of that. It's not a huge amount of heat. Most of the heat there is in my toasty fingers. Well, look how hot my fingers are. I'm always burning hot. But that is fundamentally what happens. It's now converting, it's holding its heat because it is converting the vapors that are coming up from the inside of here, and it's going up into the vapors are going up and then getting converted directly to heat by the catalyst. So you're not really seeing this much. This feels warm, but unfortunately, because it's metal and it's shiny, it's not what you call a thermal emissive. It's not a true representation of the temperature. I'm just going to try something here. Sorry for this small screen. It would have been nice if the floor actually recorded video, but it doesn't. I'm going to try sticking a bit of Kapton tape across there and see if it makes it more thermally emissive. It's kind of showing the temperature better now. Oop. Hold on, I'm trying to see. Yeah, the body of the thing is actually going up to about above hand temperature. It certainly did feel warm. The Kapton tape, when you stick Kapton tape onto the sorry for drifting with the screen there. When you stick it onto the non-emissive surface, it does make it more visible. And certainly this thing is heating up now completely. So yeah, that's the other one of these. So I'm just going to turn the light back on again. Yeah, excuse the bright pulse of light. And then I shall focus back down to about there. Turn the thermal imaging camera off. One of the most interesting toys I ever bought, the thermal imaging camera. It was a very expensive thing to buy at the beginning. There's the Kapton tape. I'll also lock the exposure by pulling in this convenient thing and lock it like that. There we go. So yeah, if you want to see the temperature on something, because the ideal surface for a thermal imaging camera is matte black. It's the sort of like the ideal. There's a name for that. A matte black. Oh, what do they call that again? I can't remember. But they often test thermal imaging cameras on an absolutely matte black surface because it is about as emissive as you could get. But the worst type of surface is reflective. You can actually see a reflection of yourself in a mirror thermally, the sort of thermal image of your reflection, but you can't really see the temperature of the object itself. So if you have a situation like that, you want to see the surface temperature, put something, either paint it black or put a bit of Kapton tape on it, and that seems to have the effect as well of making it visible to the camera. But yeah, these seem to work okay. This one is claimed to have a 12-hour runtime. Also has other information in this. Warmer should be used under the guide of adult. When filled, do not overfill. Don't keep out of velvet pouch. It causes too much heat. Oh, that must be restricting the air in then. Be dangerous to skin. Okay, and that's about it. So that's the one with sort of peacocky effect on it. This is the one with the butterfly effect. I'm not sure how many types there are and if they're from different manufacturers or not. This cover goes on like that, and then that will just stay warm for quite a long period of time. So yeah, they're quite interesting devices. They're quite interesting indeed. Now I'm going to go and check my heating and see if it's making an oil slick, but I doubt it. Yeah, looks fine, sounds fine, no oil slicks, that's looking good.